Good morning. It's 7:04 on this Monday, January 20th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. Yes, we are here, and we're glad to have you there this morning. It's cold out there. Let's see, what did my car thermometer say? I've already forgotten. I believe it was 9 degrees. Anyway, we welcome you to our program, and we welcome our friends from Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Well, our friend this morning, Clint Kelly. Clint, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is cold out there. Anytime it gets below 20 degrees, it's cold. And I'll be honest, I think 30 degrees seems like 20 degrees used to me the older I get. But this is a holiday for a lot of people, but I'll bet it's not at Absolute Kubota.
No, sir. We'll be there for everybody in the community.
Well, Clint, of course, heads up the service department at Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, and we talk about that each Monday at this time. That's where you'll find those Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, RTVs. You'll find Exmark zero-turn mowers, and they have the Red Max outdoor power equipment and also the Land Pride and Hustler brands. All of that is waiting for you there, and you can find out more if you go to their website, www.absolutekubota.com. Well, what do we talk about on a cold day like this? I mean, a lot of people are going to say, well, it's cold and I don't have to get out and I'm not going to and all that kind of stuff. And still, you're in business and you pretty much got to be open because there's going to be a few people who are going to need something from you today, no doubt.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're still doing our winter service promotion. So come on in. You can get parts to do. If you like to do service on your equipment yourself, you can get 15% off at the parts counter on fluids, filters, spark plugs, things like that. Or if you want us to take care of it, especially if you have a machine that's still under warranty, so we can look and check over the machine, you can get 20% off a service package with us, or you can choose to do up to we do free transport to pick up your machine and then deliver it when we're done, up to 25 miles one way. So we got some options there. I agree, it's definitely cold. The big thing for people to know right now, like if you're trying to start a gasoline engine, like a two-cycle gasoline, or I'm sorry, like a four-cycle, two-cylinder gasoline engine, like on a mower. Don't know why anyone would want to start a mower this morning, but give that thing some time, let it warm up. It's going to be really hard to start this morning. And diesel, a lot of people forget, diesel has water content in it. So at some point, it'll start to congeal. It won't quite freeze all the way, but it'll congeal. So don't be alarmed if some diesel stuff has a hard time starting this morning.
So some good points there, some good things to think about, and you might think about this a little bit more than the average person because you deal with it.
Oh, we get calls. I remember, a couple years ago when we got down to single digits, we got calls from a handful of people, and that same thing. We had some brand new stuff on the lot that didn't want to start, and when you look at the fuel water separator, there's just kind of like a little, jelly in there. Kubota makes some fuel treatment if for the farmers that have a big, huge fuel tank on their property. We have some fuel treatment that you can dump in that helps that operating temperature so it doesn't happen and you don't have any issues with your diesel equipment. But that's one thing to be aware of so that no one's quite so alarmed if it doesn't want to start.
Well, and one of the good things, too, I mean, you're in this business, you deal with these sorts of things all the time. Now, or at least every time it turns cold, you're going to have one of these problems probably to deal with. Whereas if you're just out here by yourself and don't have that much equipment, you might not have had experience with it. You might have some questions, and that's why you're there to answer them.
Yeah, we pride ourselves in not just being able to get stuff fixed, get stuff serviced in a timely manner, but we're available for tech support. I handle a lot of it. And I am not afraid to say things I don't know, but I try and get an answer with the resources that I have at my fingertips and the different people that I can talk to. So, yeah, we've got a lot of knowledge built up collectively at our dealership. So if you have questions, just give us a call.
Well, I know you're not in sales, but what you do enhances sales, no doubt, taking care of service after the sale. But how's your inventory? You've got plenty to choose from right now.
We do. We have a lot of stuff. We've got, I started over 3 years ago when it seemed like we had no RTVs in, or when they'd get delivered, it already had someone's name on it. So we've got a slew of them. We've got quite a few tractors. Tons of mowers. So I know that stuff, no one's really thinking about mowing just yet with still a little bit of snow on the ground, but it'll be here sooner than we know.
But still, if you want to prepare ahead, and if you've got nothing better to do today, well, you can come check it out, see what kind of deal you get.
Absolutely. And to anyone out there, just know it doesn't matter the color, the condition. We take stuff in on trade as well. So if you've got a mower that's been kind of giving you fits, take some pictures of it, come in and talk to either of our two salesmen, and they can get you a quote to get it traded in and get something new under warranty.
And Clint might just say this again, just remind, especially people in the lawn mowing business, or even if you do your own and have a mower that needs to have some maintenance done, don't wait till the middle of March or April.
No.
Come on now.
That's right. No, and that's one of the reasons why we try and do that, or not try it. That's one of the reasons why we do our winter service promotion. We want people to come take care of it now, because if you wait until February or March, we just don't want you to be delayed getting your grass cut because we have lots of repairs going on. Because once grass cutting season gets here, people are going to be using their equipment, which means it's going to break down. So we're going to be busy with repairs, and we just don't want anyone to have to wait on us to get their grass cut.
Well, thanks for making it out this morning. Hope you have a great week, and we'll hopefully do it again next Monday.
Thanks so much, Coleman.
All right. Clint Kelly, Service Department at Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. You can call them at 615-449-6171. All right. It's 10 and a half after 7 o'clock, and here on this Monday morning, it's time for me to go to the telephone and introduce State Representative Susan Lynn. Susan, are you there?
I am. Hi, Coleman.
Good
I have to be radio this morning and on the phone.
Well, we're glad to hear your voice. It's been a while since I've seen you or talked to you, and it is your turn to alternate Mondays with Clark Boyd, our other Maine County State Representative. Of course, we do have a little sliver of Wilson County that goes to the gentleman up in DeKalb County, who is their representative. But mostly in Wilson County, it's you and Clark Boyd. And as I said, it is your turn this morning. So there's a lot for us to talk about, and I don't really know where to begin, but maybe I understand the governor has called a special session of the legislature, and I guess we could start talking about this. When you have a special session, you'll have certain topics that can be discussed, and only those. And I believe there are three, but primarily this special session, as I understand it, really is to deal with education issues. So take it from there.
Hi. Well, yes, he did. There was hinting that he might call a special session, but he did indeed call a special session. And as you know, one of the topics is the Education Freedom Bill. We have been given the Education Freedom Bill language and an outline of what the bill does. However, as you know, last year it was heavily amended, and by the time it made it to the floor, there were not a whole lot of House members who were willing to vote for it. And, of course, in the Senate, they would not vote for the House version. So this bill has a long way to go. The next topic is immigration and seeing what we can do there to assist President Trump with his efforts to make Tennessee more safe by getting these dangerous illegal aliens out of Tennessee. Law enforcement can certainly tell you what an impact they have made. It's very difficult for our law enforcement, and of course also for our social services, and very tragic. And then of course the last topic is East Tennessee, and doing all we can do to help our family in East Tennessee to recover from the terrible flooding.
What were you necessarily against having a special session? Or what do you think of this?
Well, honestly, I kind of feel like once we enter ordinary session, that the governor probably shouldn't call a special session, because he's sort of then directing our work. If he wants a special session, he should call it outside of ordinary session. But there are no rules on that, and so he has called the special session, and we are now in ordinary session. Organizational session was last Tuesday through Thursday, and then we entered into ordinary session. So it will be the last week of January, and we will work on those 3 topics. I think there's enough work there for all the committees to meet and discuss and see what we can do on all of these topics.
Well, it's been suggested to me that this was pretty much a done deal, or they wouldn't have called the special session if they didn't feel confident that what the governor wants is going to pass. Any comments on that?
No, I don't feel that way. I don't. The legislature has great autonomy. We don't always go along with, the governor's idea. We will tweak them a lot. So we'll see. I don't think so. I know that I've had phone calls. The speaker called me, asked me for my point of view. The governor's staff came to me, asked me for my point of view, all of that. And Representative Boyd always says the devil's in the details. It certainly is. And last year's bill was an absolute monstrosity. It was a Christmas tree, with different pretty ornaments hanging on here and there and there. And we don't do that in Tennessee. They do that in Washington, D.C. And, of course, that was done by the House. The House did that. The Senate bill didn't look like that at all. But that is Washington-esque. And hopefully with the swearing in of President Trump today with a new, legislative session for the House and Senate up in Washington, hopefully they will stop that kind of absolute nonsense. It's an absolute ripoff for the people, and it is wrong. So hopefully we will never do that in Tennessee, and they'll stop doing it in Washington.
Okay, it is time for us to take a break. State Representative Susan Lynn is my guest this morning, and we invite you to stay with us for more here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
So let's see what's happening on the roadways thanks to Bates Ford. And that regular oil change, $39.95 up to 5 quarts oil. Tax and disposal, $17.80 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's trying to pick up in a couple of spots out here on 24 westbound up to the Antioch area, coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. Normally, that would be pretty heavy up through there. There's been plenty of radar all over Middle Tennessee this morning. Give yourself a little bit of extra time. There's a few slick spots out here as well. Hey, whether you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, call Independent Roofing Specialists. Check them out at irsroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Need a venue for your next corporate training, meeting, luncheon, or customer appreciation event? These are just a few of the event options that the Farm Bureau Expo Center can accommodate within its 79,000 square feet of adaptable event space. The Farm Bureau Expo Center offers unparalleled versatility for corporate events in Wilson County. Come on by and check us out. For booking details as well as upcoming events, visit farmbureauexpo.com or find us on Facebook. We look forward to seeing you soon at the Farm Bureau Expo.
I gave Michael a big grocery.
And we continue here on a Monday morning. State Representative Susan Lynn is on the line. It's about, 8 or 9 degrees out there. This might have been the coldest of the next 3. Now, last night, tonight, and tomorrow night, I think maybe last night is the colder one in the forecast, but all 3 are going to be really cold. And what a day to have to go to Capitol Hill. And actually, though, I think, Representative Lynn, the way this is kind of set up, usually on Mondays, you don't meet till later in the day if you meet, and it gives those from Memphis and Knoxville and Bristol and places far away time to get to the Capitol and not start at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Isn't that pretty much the way it goes?
That is the way it goes, but we actually adjourned for 2 weeks, and at the beginning of each session we will adjourn for 2 weeks, and it's just sort of an organizational time. Those freshmen, they're going to be moving offices, place them here and there, and just doing different things like just learning about the legislature, and they have a lot of activities for the freshmen to do, and just get them up to speed as quickly as possible. So that is this week, because next week will be that special session.
Okay, what about your committee assignments, and will your office move?
No, my office will not move. Hopefully my parking spot will move. I'm telling you, I parked next to a post, and I think I've hit that post 3 or 4 times, and much to my husband's chagrin. So the parking lot's a little tight. And so Coleman, this year, I have been on the finance committee for a very, very, very long time. And I decided I want to get off and be on another committee that is my passion. And one of my passions is health. And, of course, not the bureaucracy of health, but true health. True health. And last year I filed some bills that kind of reflected my interest in health and encouraging Tennesseans to eat more healthfully. I am so encouraged with Kennedy coming in to President Trump's administration because he is an intellectually honest man. I know he's going to do great things for the health of this nation. We have to make America healthy again. And Tennessee in particular is one of the most unhealthy states in the country. You saw last week the FDA banned red dye number 3. Red dye number 3. It was banned 20 years ago in cosmetics because it can cause cancer, but they left it in food. They left it in food because of pressure from lobbyists. So with Trump coming in here last week, they banned red dye number 3. Hallelujah. Of course, you know, people like myself, we avoid the artificial colors, the artificial flavors, preservatives, anything that is highly processed, any highly processed food. And Coleman, the sickness, the chronic sickness in this country is not without cause. And our food system, our standard American diet is called FAD, has a lot to do with it. So I am very excited. I am, the speaker actually called me up and he's like, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes, I'm sure." I want to try to make an impact here. And like I said, not the bureaucracy of healthcare, but with real health for Tennesseans. If we love our brothers and sisters, we want them to be healthy and, you know, their minds, their bodies, everything.
Is there some legislation that you might be introducing in that regard? Is it something that we legislate, or how do you want to improve the situation?
I will be sponsoring 5 different pieces of legislation, and they are still being worked on right now, but some health advocates have come to me and asked me to sponsor these pieces of legislation. A lot of it at the state level has to do, one is with school lunches, but 2, with different ways we can do reporting to really honestly understand what's going on. And as I said, I am so encouraged that President Trump's administration is going to tackle this problem. And so, I mean, we're just going to be here to work hand in glove with what they're trying to do in President Trump's administration.
Well, I think it's a noble idea on your part. I have to say that there's you know that old country saying that has stuck with me all my life: you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I wonder, I mean, people have gotten into the eating habits and patterns that they have, and changing them, I don't think is going to be an easy task, Representative Lynn.
It may not be, but those processed foods, such as here, they just banned the red dye number 3. There are so many other chemicals in our food that are so unhealthful for people. In fact, I think I've told you before that my daughter and my granddaughters have a really severe reaction to corn syrup. And I just feel sorry for any family that doesn't realize that corn syrup can cause severe reactions like this. But I'm talking psoriasis. I'm talking dark circles under the eyes. I'm talking behavior issues, lack of sleep, just from corn syrup. And we're so fortunate that we had realized it when our daughter was a little girl. It, you know, just had some issues, and a friend gave me a book, and I was stunned. I had no idea. And with our granddaughters growing up, we just avoid corn syrup. And if they ever have it by accident, boy, can you tell. And so recently, I was like, golly, why on earth would this make such a problem for these children? I looked and looked and looked for any studies I could find. And I found a study by Mayo Clinic, and sample after sample after sample of the corn syrup was extremely high in heavy metals. And as we know, heavy metals can do a number on the brain and other physiological parts of the systems of the body. So it's not without cause. And people just think, I take this little pill, tiny little pill, and it works on my blood pressure and my heart. Well, just imagine every day you're eating so much of these chemicals every single day, and you never get a break. And no wonder we have so many chronic health problems. Of course, there's other factors, the vaping and the smoking and many other things. There's certainly other factors, but our food supply, our standard American diet, it really is sad.
Okay, and here, in listening a little more to you, what you're really talking about here is going kind of to the head of the stream and not allowing some of these dangerous chemicals and other things to get into the food in the beginning. So it's more of a prevention thing at that point, I think, what you're talking about. Well, I wish you well.
And that'll be done more or less at the federal level, is what I suspect, because it's a national food supply. That has to be done at the federal level. I mean, we can do it at the state level. It does have an influence, but our market in Tennessee is too small to really make an impact. When a state like California bans something from their food supply, it does have an impact on the rest of the country, and they have banned some things that have been very good to ban. But Tennessee's market is really just too small, so I expect most of these things to be done at the federal level. And in Tennessee, we'll be able to do some other things.
Our time is rapidly slipping away here this morning, but outside of education, what other things do you think's going to maybe take front and center? We're always concerned about where we stand budget wise, and I think Tennessee has a good track record there. But we know that we do have some road issues that need to be addressed, and there are other things. What else is on your mind for this session?
We sure do have some road issues, and I think, again, this year we are going to take money out of the general fund and shift it to the transportation budget. We simply do not have enough funds, especially with all the inflation in the transportation budget. Inflation has absolutely, just socked us, and it's been a terrible problem with building and maintaining our roads. So we'll shift money out of the general fund into the transportation fund. I think everybody is in support of that. We have to help our brothers and sisters in East Tennessee. Boy, some of the stories that you hear out of there, it is unbelievable. And let me just give tremendous kudos to West Wilson Utility District. My colleagues from East Tennessee, West Wilson Utility District, went over there, and they are amazed, my colleagues, at how much they did, how much they know, how they were just such leaders in actually even teaching those utility districts over there on, how to do things, how to do things really well and quickly and get things restored. The West Wilson Utility District was amazing, absolutely amazing, and we will be running a resolution to thank them for all that they did. And they've done it so quietly. I don't think many people realize what West Wilson Utility did over in East Tennessee, but boy, are they grateful.
Okay, we've got about a minute and a half left here this morning. It's good to hear from you, and we're going to be going to be wondering just what happens here as the governor calls this special session. But there are three, not just one issue, but only those three will be discussed, and that starts next Monday, I believe. And how long is there a length of time set for this, or how long is a special session? Is it required to be so long?
Well, hopefully it'll just be 1 week. And I'm sure one thing we didn't talk about is President Trump's inauguration today. I know a lot of people are very, very excited. I'm very, very excited. I have a lot of friends who are up in Washington for the inauguration, and let's hope everything goes well today. And we're on a new trajectory here, so I'm really happy about it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We'll do it again in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
All right. State Representative Susan Lynn, and that is part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more. Please keep it right here, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, premium brands require premium parts and service. Contact Absolute Kubota's Elite Certified Service Department to schedule an appointment. And they are, of course, located at 1506 West Main. We're going to check in with Chuck here in just a moment.
Hey, this is Dr. Derek Gregory, and I'm proud to announce to you the opening of our brand new dental practice, Gregory Dental Group, at 1746 West Main Street, just across the road from Sports Village. Come experience modern dentistry at its best. We're always welcoming new patients, and I truly look forward to taking the best care of all your dental needs. Come by or call us today.
That's Gregory Dental Group, 615-444-0322, or online at myLebanonTNDentist.com. Gregory Dental Group, compassion, knowledge, skill.
Good morning. A little bit of volume coming through the Mount Juliet area. It's still lighter than it normally would be for this time of the morning, coming in from Wilson County in and through Davidson County 24. Normally would be loaded up pretty good westbound up through Antioch, approaching Bell Road, Hickory Hollow Parkway. That actually still looks pretty good coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24 with a little bit of radar out through Rutherford County this morning down the interstate. Hey, whether you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, call Independent Roofing Specialist, IRSroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Since 1982, Exmark has been dedicated to building the world's finest mowers. These machines provide you with a quality of cut that seems impossible, dependability you can measure in lifetimes, and an operator experience like none other. Because Exmark believes if something's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Visit your local dealer to discover a one-of-a-kind ownership experience and see the difference for yourself.
Exmark, done right, made for this. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, Lebanon.
We'll have partly cloudy skies, very cold conditions for today. Afternoon highs only in the lower 20s. Mostly clear tonight, lows around 15, and then partly cloudy again on our Tuesday. Highs remain cold in the lower 20s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Drew Richards.
We welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company. It's a cold Monday morning, but time for us to talk about the Farm Bureau Expo Center. And Gail Hellam is right here with us to talk about it. Good morning.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was good. How about yours?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Anytime Vanderbilt beats Tennessee, it's a good weekend, and they beat them twice, the men and the women.
Good deal. Good deal. Because you know I wasn't watching.
So MJ Florida ain't got nothing on us. We beat them too. Well, anyway, I don't want to irritate I've got a lot of UT friends, and I'm not trying to rub it in much, but that does make for a great
It's always worth noting the win.
Well, we're here, of course, to talk about the Farm Bureau Expo with Gail as she comes each Monday. Gail Hellam, Director of Marketing and Events. And what was it like with the colder weather this weekend? Did it?
Well, I mean, colder weather, everybody kind of reacts to that differently. If you go back a week to the RV show, and it was kind of interesting because, that snow started coming in, and snow usually comes in when that show happens, which we were kind of laughing about. But it stayed cold, but at the same time, the snow stopped, and for them, they actually kind of appreciate that, because if it's that cold, people aren't outside doing much else. So why not come out to the show? And they ended up having like 1,500 people come out to that show. So, I mean, it was a good show for them. I think one of the two dealers sold over 19 RVs.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have the number on the other one, but I'm pretty sure it's similar. So, that's a good weekend for them.
And they probably come from more than just Wilson County, I'm thinking.
I'm sure. Yeah. And I think that they might feed those shows a little bit by people coming into the respective dealership offices and then telling them, I think I understood, and I could be wrong, but that there are some special incentives if it's at a show. Mm-hmm. So people may have been kind of hanging on to making that decision until the actual show. But my point is that the cold weather kind of forces people to want to find something to do inside. Mm-hmm. So it works both ways. It works both ways.
Well, the Farm Bureau Expo Center there is, I guess it has its own uniqueness. It's I don't know of any other place that's just like it. But what I do like, and I'm not into marketing and that sort of thing, but I mean the fact that if you have a smaller occasion, smaller attended event, you've got something available. If you can have the whole thing. If you need it, and it's available. So you can go small or large, whatever your needs are.
That's exactly correct. And I mean, technically, if you look at how you have the option to break up the spaces, I could technically have 6 events in the expo at the same time. We've never had that. I don't suspect that would be the case, because we tend to have a larger one and a smaller one is usually kind of the way it works. Although I will say, coming up for the rest of this year, I have several occasions where I have a large event and 2 small events, and half and half in South Hall. And it's exciting to see that, because to your point, you need a small event. Do you need a big event? Do you just need a little tiny space? We can accommodate that. And of course, hats off to the ag grounds that if you've got a huge event and we don't have enough space because maybe we've already got South Hall booked, you always have the option to roll over into one of those buildings behind us and supplement your event that way too. Mm-hmm. So we try to encourage that.
What's on the agenda this week?
Well, we're into Dance World now. And I call it that because for the next 3 months, there will be lots of dance events, which means there will be lots of cars, lots of traffic, and lots of kids. And that means that there will be a lot of food and candy sold while they're there.
Does it mean traffic will be slowed down a little bit in front of the center?
Well, so we have a system where we report every event to the Lebanon Police Department. They contact the event, and then they talk about the volume, and they come up with a plan. Yep. And so, if there's going to be a large number of people, they're going to try to anticipate that. And usually the event planner, especially with the dance or the cheerleading teams, they kind of know what their cycles are and how many people are coming in. So it's a pretty good guess. The one that's a little bit more of a variable happens every November, which, according to the Lebanon Police Department, was pretty close to fair traffic because they had over 8,700 people between Friday and Sunday. So it was a lot of people in a short period of time. But we've got the dance group coming in, and then after that, we've got the Tennessee Boat and Fishing Show, and then we've got the home show coming in. So we've got that So you got a variety of things for reasons to come out, and then we have a high-end antique show right after that, and then we're back to dance and cheerleading and gymnastics.
Well, I guess most events that you have there, you have some, we could call it local participation. You have some local people for, half the stuff you have, was a third? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I don't even know how to quantify that, to be honest with you. Like with the dance teams, yes, usually there's local dance groups that participate in that, but the majority of them come from out of the area, usually across the state. So they pick regional locations for people to come to. Boat and fishing show, yes, for sure. We have definitely people coming to attend, but I would say the local people are probably the people going to the show, not the people exhibiting in the show.
Yeah.
And then the home show, that's put on by Wilson Bank and Trust, and so you've got they concentrate on local exhibitors, and then of course local people attending. So
Right, and people from all adjoining counties, perhaps, but
yeah, exactly.
Still pretty local.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll see you next Monday. Thanks so much.
Sounds good. You stay warm.
And you stay safe.
I will do so.
We'll
All
stay
right.
safe
Have a
and
good
warm.
day.
Thank you. Gail Hallam, Director of Marketing and Events for the Farm Bureau Expo Center. And we're about 20 and a half before the hour. Before I introduce my second half guest, just a reminder that the Wilson County Black Committee will celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today, this Monday, January 20th, at Historic Pickett Chapel Church, 209 East Market Street. This will be a 3-hour event from 12 noon to 3 p.m., and the celebration will include guest speaker Ms. Andrea Word, special presentation civil rights, Tabitha Neal, poetry, music, and refreshments. All right, here he is representing the Wilson County veterans, the one and only Uncle Pete.
Good morning, Wilson County and the surrounding areas. This portion of your program today is brought to you live and in Technicolor by yours truly, the one, the only, the ever now and then good-looking Uncle Pete, the president and chairman of the board of the Wilson County Veteran Center.
Well, glad to have you with us today, and it's kind of cold out there. What did you have a thermometer on your vehicle? No doubt.
Yeah, 9 degrees.
No, that's what mine said, 9 degrees.
9 degrees. Yeah, I was sitting over there enjoying a third cup of coffee and shooting the breeze.
At the liar's table.
And you at the liar's table, and you called. I said,
Actually, I didn't call. I texted and said, "Don't forget me."
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what you saw.
Yep.
And then I did call you.
Yep. I didn't even look at my text. I mean, literally, I was enjoying the morning. A bunch of us sitting there. Nobody can do much right now.
Yeah.
And
what's the talk at your place with? We've got a. I've just been given a note here that this event we're talking about, the Martin Luther King celebration, has been canceled. Mary Harris had sent me this email probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I've tried to mention it when I thought of it, but I had not did not know that it had been canceled. So that will just scratch that. It will not be held today. Okay. Where were we? It's cold. What's been the conversation lately as we come to the end of the presidency of Mr. Biden and as the Trump era begins again?
Well, everybody's going to be watching the coronation. I mean, the inauguration of King Trump. I mean, President Trump.
I think you got your tongue in your cheek this
morning. Well, it has become fun. You've got the ones that believe he can do no wrong, and you got some that believe he can't do nothing right. So sometimes the conversations get salty.
Well, where are you in all of that?
Me?
Yeah.
I voted for Eisenhower myself. I learned a long time ago, worst thing in the world you can do if you own a business is let people know what your political convictions are.
Really?
You will lose people. You won't gain many, but you'll get some mad at you, and they'll go the other way. So I pick a good president. You know, last election, I voted for John Kennedy. I have been known to campaign. I've got some old campaign buttons. I've got some Eisenhower, and I've got Roosevelt.
Oh, really?
One year I wore the Roosevelt. Somebody said, "Isn't he dead?" And I said, come to think of it, I ain't heard him on the air lately. And it just makes people laugh.
Yeah.
But
Well, we need to go to break here in about a minute and a half or so, but give us a quick progress report on your building.
We're laying floor.
Laying floor.
Yes, sir. We went through the building from top to bottom because it had some water damage and leaks and stuff, and we pulled panels out, replaced those. We got into one of the closets and found a bunch of water damage, so we had to cut a lot of that out, fix that. Another area, same thing. So we got all of that finished first. So we don't have any of that anymore. We did find out we got 336 miles of cable in the ceiling. Everything you pull out, cable will fall down because everybody that worked or was in that building from the fire department on just ran their own cable.
Uh-huh.
So one of the things we are going to do is we're tracing back from the room where all the electronics are at, and we're going to pull stuff out and just roll it up. If we can use it, we'll use it. But it's amazing.
Has the date that you're going to have things going, has that been pushed forward some? You had thought you'd be in there by now, I think.
Oh, yeah, we thought, yes. Yeah, but we're still shooting some, whenever not Veterans Day, but Armed Forces Day in May, we're still shooting at that. Floor's going down good. Somebody gave us hardwood floor, and we've got a gentleman that's doing it, and he is really good at what he does. So it's a two-tier floor. It has a accent darker floor in the middle, and then the outer floor is oak.
Uh-huh.
And that'll be the room where the pool table's going and the video games are going. That will be the activities room. And the other room where that we reserved for the psychiatric department to do counseling and things like that. And then we have another room that'll be a band room for music. We've got some people that are going to teach music. We've already been given some instruments, and we'll take more. We've got a brand new set of drums. We've got a electronic piano. We've got a regular guitar. We've got a acoustical guitar, and then we've got a bass guitar.
Okay.
So we're looking for more because we're going to try to teach, and we've got some people out of Nashville that are going to come on a basis to teach you how to write a song.
All right.
So one of these days she'll be playing my song that I wrote and recorded.
All right. Well, we gotta play a break song.
Yes,
right
sir.
Here. Time. Take a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford. Get a battery installed in most vehicles. $199.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. A little bit of volume coming through the Mount Juliet area. It's still lighter than it normally would be for this time of the morning, coming in from Wilson County in and through Davidson County 24. Normally would be loaded up pretty good westbound up through Antioch. Approaching Bell Road, Hickory Hollow Parkway, that actually still looks pretty good coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24 with a little bit of radar out through Rutherford County this morning down the interstate. Hey, whether you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, call Independent Roofing Specialist, IRSroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Uncle Pete here this morning. Haywood P. Norman IV, better known as Uncle Pete.
Yes.
And when did this... You had been looking, I think I know the recent history here. You'd been looking for a place to have the veterans have their own building have their own thing. You'd had the building out at the fairgrounds, but it's not like having your own thing, and especially at times like at the fair and other times when the building would be used by somebody else. It was nice to have that to use, but it wasn't really yours.
Yes.
The city, Mayor Bell and the city council agreed to
absolutely
give you the old fire station for $1 a year or something like that. And
rarely can afford that.
So this is really a great location there. Hard to drive at the bypass.
It is. It's amazing. Since I got the flag up and the sign on the building and stuff, we'll have people stop now, walk in, and you're welcome to come and look and see what we're doing anytime. Mm-hmm. If you see us around back, come through the back door and holler, and we'll find you.
But you have found, just like you were talking earlier about all the wire, that everybody that had used the building had put their own wire in there and just laid it beside or on top of what was already there, I guess.
Yeah.
You're pretty much cleaning all that out.
Me and two other guys are going to work on that on some Saturdays. And what we're going to do is disconnect anything that's not connected to something. Mm-hmm. We're going to disconnect it. We're going to identify things that are running. We've got TV or cable wire running to connections with a plug on the wall, high up on walls in 4 different locations, mm-hmm. and we're going to leave those.
Yeah,
because those will eventually be a video game station or a television, and so we're going to leave those. We're hoping that our local charter television program, they have indicated that they might give us free basic TV, mm-hmm. and that we need that. We need people like that doing things for the veterans. And one of the things that sort of gets lost, it's not just for Army and Air Force and Marine Corps veterans, it's for police officers. It's for fire department people. They are also frontline people. And they sometimes need someplace, hey, let's go shoot a game of pool. Well, come to the center.
You got your pool table yet?
We have not done. No, once the floor is down, then the pool table comes. And it is amazing how out of level the floor was.
Oh.
It was a garage. And so it didn't have a level spot in it. It was wavy as all get out. So we bought subflooring, and we're putting it down with a big, thick adhesive, and then piling things on it to let it set for 72 hours. But now it's almost perfectly level. So now when we put it down on that nice, beautiful hardwood floor, that pool table will level right out, and you'll be able to sink the 7 ball in the right pocket.
All right.
And that's what we're after. We're wanting a place that you can go and just get away from everything. And sometimes that's what you need.
Well, it seems to me you're going to be providing recreation and education, and then some other things that will pertain.
Yes.
As well, but primarily education and recreation.
Yes, and I coined the phrase "been there, done that."
Yeah.
Do you need to talk? And that sometimes is very important. I learned it at the truck stop at Uncle Pete's. I would start talking to somebody, and they would not end their conversation. They just wanted, so I just pull up a chair and sit down and listen to what they needed to say. They needed to get off of them, and make very little comments. And then at the end of it, I would suggest, I said, where are you from? Well, I'm from Seattle, Washington, or I'm from Lubbock, Texas. I said, have you checked to see if there's an American Legion or VFW post there? Well, no. I said, let me pull it up, and I get my telephone out and punch in their city and ask Google, mm-hmm. is there American Legion and VFW? And then I show them. I said, look, here's one in your town. And I said, if not, let me see if there's one close to you.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that's what they need. you know, these guys, especially the young guys and the old guys like me too, you know, they come back and they harbor horrendous memories. And they need to get those memories out. And it cost me my first marriage. And she's passed away now, but she and I we argued over everything, and argued over nothing. And I see now, and it took counseling and stuff, she wasn't doing nothing wrong. It was me. I just had all this anger boiling over. And it took me years to get that out.
And this is all a result of the military experience of war, of killing people, of seeing people die, and all of this that goes with war.
Yes. And, you come back. Well, Terry Ash is a prime example.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was 2 of them lived out of his whole squadron. Now, how do you come back and justify, and this is what Terry said, how do I justify that I lived and they didn't?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the same way. I lost one of my roommates in Vietnam within a month. Now, why did he die and I didn't? And I escorted the body back. And the hardest thing in the world for me to do, they wanted me to give his mom the American flag. And I trembled. I mean, I literally trembled when I walked over and handed her that. Why did he die and I didn't?
Yeah.
So that eats away at you, and I know we need armies and we need military and we need good people, but some of the stuff, and especially, I keep saying it, but I talk to these young guys, and they were in firefights on the ground that were horrendous. Thank goodness I was in the air most of the time, or my first tour I was with an engineering brigade, but they were in stuff that you can't fathom. My dad talked about things in Korea. You don't know what these people went through. My dad, 21 days of frontline fighting close to the reservoir in Korea. And thousands of Americans died, and tens of thousands of Korean and Chinese died.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to get over that. I had an uncle that was a Navy boxer, and he was the Navy fleet champion. And on December the 6th, he set sail for the Philippines to fight the Marine Corps for the grand champion. And the morning of the 7th, they turned around because Pearl Harbor. And he spent 14 days. He was technically a cook. He was the mess steward.
Mm-hmm.
For 14 days, his cooks stayed in these little boats and pulled bodies out of the water for 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
And Uncle Willard didn't talk about that for 40, 50 years.
I guess it's somewhat difficult for the average person to understand all that is in your mind that you go through having experienced something like you're talking about. If you
haven't been there and you haven't done that, no. The best thing that the U.S. military offers you today, if you're married, your wife goes with you.
Yeah.
That stops more divorces than anything else. And, they have their own programs for spouses, both female and male. We've got female helicopter pilots. We've got female captains in line brigades, and their husbands sometimes need to go.
Pete, I hate to break in here. We got 2 minutes, but I know you have some needs. You could use some help. You could use monetary help. You could use man hours.
If you can put a paintbrush in your hand, I can give you something to paint. if just cleaning up after us where we're doing things and taking things apart, we need your help. The Mount Juliet area, this is Wilson counties. So it's not Lebanon's, it's Wilson County. So you live in Mount Juliet, you can come up here and help. You can come up here and use it. Mm-hmm. If you live in Watertown or you live in the Glades, it's yours. If you got kids or grandkids or great-grandkids that are having problems, call me, 615-804-4404. And if I can't do what you need, I'll get you to the people. We've got the best veteran service office in the state of Tennessee. And I'm not just bragging because I like them. They get things done. They will take you under arm like you're their child, and they'll walk you through it. So we've got everything going great. We just need to get the word out there, and open your pocketbooks, open your hearts, and give us some money to help us get this thing finished up. I've been out begging for money, but I don't mind carrying a bowl and saying, hey, put a little bit in there.
804-4404. All right.
If you come to the truck stop, there's three different drop boxes where you can put money in.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us today. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for a Monday, and until tomorrow, I wish you a magnificent day.